If you've ever gone through a friendship breakup and haven't had anywhere to talk about it, I would love to talk about it here because my friendship breakups broke my heart in ways that I never could have seen coming. And nobody ever warned me about what that would do. There's a million pieces of media that tell us how to get over a romantic ending. There's movies, TVs, books. Where is that for the ends of friendships? Because women's friendships are the emotional foundation of our lives. Men come and go, but we are each other's keepers, each other's safe place, each other's historians, defenders, protectors. And this grief, it's just so homeless. It's wandering, there's nowhere for it to go. It's not like somebody died and so my porch is full of casseroles. It's not like I was just divorced and so I'm given a few days off work. I'm just expected to go on. Like nothing happened and nobody notices that my life partners of 20-something years are gone. There's no social structure to support those of us who have lost friendships like this. And every woman I have spoken to about this has said, this happened to me. And I have never known how to talk about it or who I can talk about it with. And when you're building a romantic relationship, like you're building a house, you lay a trap door into that because there's a high chance that eventually something will happen and that house will come down and you need a way out. You don't do that with friendships. You build that house like it's your forever home. And I never expected that to come down. And one day it just did. And it came down on top of me and it nearly killed me. Like, it feels like it's taken me over a year just to dig my way out of the rubble. So I don't know if there's a great solution, but maybe we could talk about it here and that's a start, because God, the worst thing about this, besides the thing itself, is just feeling like I have to mourn and grieve so much alone. Like every room I walk into, there's this ghost over my shoulder and nobody can see it but me. But it's with me all the time. So you're welcome to talk about it here. And if this has happened to you, I see you. And it's real and it hurts as bad as you think it does. And
I need to get this off my chest. We've all had that one best friend that we thought we would be friends with for the rest of our lives. To the point where you do everything together like you are literally inseparable. And then one day, everything changes. And it could be a falling out, but in my case, we went from being the best of friends to her kind of slowly eliminating herself from my life. And when I communicated with her and asked her why, she told me I was crazy and that I was overthinking it. And then one year, she didn't invite me to her birthday. We always do birthdays together. That's when I knew I had to let her go. 2 years go by, one of her dogs passed away, and that made me really sad because I knew how much that dog meant to her. So of course, me, in my heart, I reach out to her and I say, I'm so sorry. And she did respond and she was like, thank you so much. I'm so upset. You know how much that dog meant to me, blah, blah, blah. Another few months passed, still never heard from her. Then this summer, my father passed away. Not that I was expecting her to console me or be a friend that I can lean on, but I did think that maybe she would reach out to me. She watched all of my stories on Instagram when my dad passed away. Every single one of them. Every single day. And she never reached out. This crushed me so much to the point where I said, I need to unfollow this person. But the crazy part about all of this woman for the last 3 years has watched every single one of my Instagram stories. Every single day. Has never missed a day. Not even one. Why are you watching my life? If you really want to know how I'm doing or what I'm doing, why not text me or call me? If you were upset with me and didn't want me in your life anymore, why are you watching my stories? To the point where I almost want to call her and be like, what the fuck is your problem, bro? Has anyone else experienced this?
I think the hardest thing about people leaving your life is that, like, when the new people come, they just don't get it. Like, they don't get it. Like, they don't get the inside joke. They don't get it. Like, even if I were to send this video right now, like, you wouldn't even get it. Like, And like they would laugh, they would probably hysterically be crying with me on the phone at like 12 in the morning, but like no, like you don't get it, like you don't even listen to me. You literally say that you're listening, but as soon as I finish sharing my feelings, you start talking about yourself and making it self-centered. You literally scroll on your phone, you're like while I'm talking, while I'm ranting, while I'm literally like going through it. But it's like they never would have done that. So it's just like, it's just this weird place when it's just like, because of like what happened, like the relationship came to an end. But it's just like when you try to start new ones with different people, it's just like, oh, like you just don't get it. And I mean platonically, by the way. Like you just don't get it. So now we're just sitting here lost in confusion because you don't get it, and you will never be who was once my best friend.
Let's talk about something that it does not get enough airtime. Female friendship breakups. Let us be real. Breaking up with your best friend can hurt more worse than breaking up with a man. And the crazy part is that nobody teaches us how to deal with it. So if you ever lost a girlfriend or a best friend and felt like you're going crazy, this video is for you, and let us get into it.
One of the reasons so many friendships are breaking up in your late 20s to your early 30s is so many friendships are truly not aligned, and you were not even friends to begin with in the first place. And some people's values are just so misaligned. And while it is true that not every person is supposed to be in every season of your life, we also must get to the point where we learn to discern who those people are. And yes, I do understand that there's sometimes that things take us unaware, but with everything, move with discernment and be the best person that you can.
One thing that I learned this year is friendships do not last forever, especially ones that you grew up in childhood with. You have to understand that they were in your life for a specific reason. They're not here forever, so you learn from it and you move on.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but it is okay to let go of that friend. Girl, it is okay to let go of that friend even though you love them. Because in this age, you have to find friends that are going to serve you in this part of your life, not the part of your life where she came along. It is all right to say, this person no longer fits the mold of the life that I'm creating, and it is okay for me to let go of her.
Female friendships hurt more worse than romantic relationships. Think about it. When you break up with your boyfriend, people will sympathize with you, they will bring you ice cream, but when you lose your friend, there's no playbook. And the worst thing is that she knows everything about you. She knows your secrets, she knows your family drama, your real face at 6 in the morning. And so when she walks away, it feels like she took a piece of you with her. And the worst part is that there's usually no closure. With a guy, at least he can say that it's over. With girlfriends, she just stops texting, and one day you are just suddenly scrolling in her Instagram, and she's posting with a new bestie, and you left there asking yourself, what did I do?
As a 30-year-old woman, nobody prepares you for the heartbreak when you have to walk away from friendships that you've had for a long time. I went through an egregious friendship breakup in my late 20s. Over time, there've been a couple of instances where I've not felt great in my body, and I've had to say, hey, be mindful of the jokes that you tell, be mindful about how you speak about me. I don't appreciate jokes like that. And they've said, sorry, I promise I won't do that again. The most egregious thing that happened that I then just completely removed myself.
I saw this tweet on Twitter where it said 99% of failed friendships amongst women happen because somebody held the other person accountable. And let me tell you why that's true. I had a friend, and when I mean she was like a pick-me girl, she was a pick-me girl. Like, I probably already spoke about this story. But basically, old girl just wanted to act funny when guys came around. And I had already talked about like it to her once, let it go. And there was another time she did it again. And when I held her accountable, why did she act crazy? She's like, oh my God, yeah. She acted insane. And I was like, girl, you're trying to get mad at me because I held you accountable for how you were acting funny. And it's crazy. Like, I just stopped being her friend. Because one, if I can't hold you accountable for your BS, I don't think we should be friends anymore. And two, she was just a pick-me girl. I couldn't stand her. But that just really opened my eyes to the point that there's some people who just want to act crazy and just want to have no one say anything to them, and they expect their friends to just allow them to do so. Let me tell you, if your friend has never called you out on your BS, held you accountable for anything, they're not your friend. They don't really care about your well-being, and they don't really care about how other people see you. Because me personally, if my friend's acting a fool, I'm gonna let her know, because you're not gonna start acting a fool so people can see you acting a fool, because that's gonna make me feel bad. You know. But some people just don't understand it. Some people see being held accountable as humiliation, so they take it the wrong way, and they end up trying to gaslight the person who's literally just trying to help them. Now, I understand. There's a way to say something. There's a how to say it, whatever. There's a way to say it. Don't try to be disrespectful, you know? Say it in a respectful way for them to actually retain it and be like, "Oh, I get it. I'm sorry." You know? Simple. Don't make them feel low of themselves, because some people just really aren't aware. But if you do the whole respectful ass stuff and then all of a sudden they're still mad, drop them. It's not worth it, because it's just going to keep on happening over and over and over and over again. And why would you want to waste your time on someone who's literally a broken record? Yeah, no. Go do something else with your time. Don't waste your time on those weird friends, girls. Please don't waste your time on them.
Jealousy is a silent killer of female relationships, or rather friendship. Most of us don't fight over boys anymore. We fight because one friend started doing better than the other. You got a new job, and instead of your friend congratulating you, she says must be nice. And you lose weight, she stops going out with you, she stops inviting you. You get into a healthy relationship, and she suddenly says you have changed. And let me tell you, sis, real friend will clap for you when you win. A fake friend goes silent. If she only hypes you up when you're struggling but disappears when you're glowing, that's not your sister. That's a competitor.
There's so many things a friend can do to you that can be forgivable, a forgivable offense. But I think something that's unforgivable is somebody mischaracterizing you. I think somebody purposely saying something that would just not reflect who you are as a person is enough for you to end the whole friendship. And this is a lesson that took me way too long to learn. Whenever a friend would say something to my character that I would be like, I feel like you should know me better than this. Why would you think I would do that? Why would you think that? I always chose oh, it's okay. I should, and they'll apologize oh, maybe I was wrong. Maybe I was overthinking. Maybe I was just being anxious, and I'll forgive it. But I started to realize every single time I would forgive people's mischaracterizations of who I am, they would come back with even more heinous mischaracterizations and just saying and spewing what has to be rage bait and nonsense.
One of the weirdest things about a friendship breakup is that the other party will start bashing you because they just assume that you are bashing them. I don't know if any of you guys have experienced this before, but I definitely have. Those times where you fall out with somebody and you decide that you are not going to talk bad about them, you are not going to share what happened and speak on it because of the respect that you have for the friendship you guys did have, and they do the complete opposite thing. They're bashing you, they're running your name through the dirt. You hear people telling you what they're saying about you, whether they're lies or, things that you told them in confidence. And you're like, damn, whole time I'm not saying anything about them at all. What they're trying to do is control the narrative. Sometimes they didn't even want to start bashing you or talking about you, but they're so afraid of you controlling the narrative and you telling people about the way they did things that they want to make sure that it looks like you're the main reason that you guys fell out. They don't have the maturity to just be able to be like, okay, maybe we're just gonna, leave this here. We weren't a good fit for each other. They want to make sure that people don't think that you are a good friend or a good person. Whole time you're not airing out any dirty laundry at all. You're like, oh, we just aren't talking as much recently, or we're not friends anymore, but hope they're doing well. And they're over here like, she blah, 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 blah. And I wouldn't trust her because, and she said this about you, and she da 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 da. They're trying to control the narrative. And when this happens, it may feel like they're owning the narrative because they're only telling their side of the story and you haven't said anything. But the gag is that they really aren't. They're really showing you their true colors when they're the only one that's dissing you and nobody has anything to say about what you've been saying about them. I remember I heard about somebody bashing me lately and saying all of these things about me after a fallout because someone else told me, and that someone else who told me cares about me. And I told them, I was like, I don't really care. I don't really have anything to say about it. And they were like, you know what? But they're really showing why you're not friends anymore because they never respected you. I didn't have to say anything. Notice how I didn't have to say anything and that person was like, they're bashing you. You're not saying anything. They're telling your business. They're lying on your name. They look a mess. If anything, it makes someone look more guilty. Like if I'm on the receiving end and I'm hearing somebody bash someone after they fall out, like really run their name into the dirt, I'm gonna be like, why do you feel the need to do that? Because typically if you're not guilty or you don't have this conscience that's like, dang, I messed up, I did them wrong, I wasn't the best friend, you do too much and you tell on yourself by doing all of this.
Growing people is very normal, but we always feel guilty about it. At 16, you guys bonded over sneaking out and the boys drama, and at 26 you want to save money, go to church, build a business, but she still wants to party every weekend, and that does not align with you right now, and suddenly you have nothing to talk about because you guys no longer have anything in common in terms of even the goals you have in life, the hobbies, and the conversations feel forced. Yeah, that's what I can say. And we have been told friends are forever, so when you outgrow some you feel like you're a terrible person. But listen, some people are in your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. Just learn to differentiate that.
I was speaking to a friend yesterday and we were talking about oversharing, and it made me realize that sometimes that's why you might feel lost more intensely than the other person. So when you're oversharing, you're not just passing information, you're giving someone emotional access to you, to the way you think, the way you feel, your traumas, this, that. So when the friendship ultimately ends, to you, you've lost your friend, you've lost your emotional companion, you've lost your therapist, you've lost your validation. To them, they've just lost a friendship. So the hurt to you is more magnified because essentially they meant more to you than you did to them. You allowed them in on areas of your life that you probably wouldn't share with other people. To them, it was never that deep. To them, the loss doesn't feel as deep because they didn't share as much. I don't think sharing has ever been the problem. I think it's the extent to which we do it. Allowing someone to practically run your life, or them being your source of validation. They're telling you what to wear, what to post. Don't post these pictures. Every time you want to post, you're sending it. Oh, which one should I post? What should I wear? Should I message this back? I don't want to look weird. Flipping, just do it. And we need to also make sure that you opening up is mutual. Do you know what I mean? Don't do it too fast. Do it slowly. Let it gradually come out and make sure that it's happening on both sides. Because if it's one-sided and you've emotionally invested a lot more than someone else has, well, mate, you're going to get hurt. I think that's why a lot of us get hurt. Because we've put them on a pedestal and we share a lot more of our lives than they have theirs. But you don't really realise it in the moment until after. You're like, why am I so hurt? Yeah, because they were everything to you.
Betrayal from a woman cuts different. A guy cheating, it hurts, I won't lie. But your bestie telling your secrets, it's really painful. And also your bestie befriending your enemies after you told her what they did to you, it's also very painful. And that's one of the things that makes girlfriends break up, because may think we expect loyalty from our friends, our best friends. We expect loyalty from our girls, and after a girlfriend hurts you, you feel very disappointed, you feel very heartbroken, and you might forgive her, but you will never look at her the same way again, and that's very okay. Another factor is miscommunication and pride. Miscommunication and pride in friendship will kill friendship faster than anything else. Maybe, for example, she did something that hurt you, but you stayed quiet, and chose to keep the peace. She did it again, but because you didn't communicate it the first time, she will continue doing it again, and now you are very resentful thinking about it. You're both now acting like the fake nice until one day you explode over something very tiny because you just chose to keep quiet. I believe in healthy friendships. When someone or when your best friend does something wrong to you, I think the best thing to do, or the best thing to handle such a situation, is just confronting your friend and telling her, I don't like this, the other day you did this. Even if you won't tell your friend the exact moment, give yourself time and make sure you approach that matter and let her know that she hurt you in a very respectful manner, and you guys are gonna continue with your healthy friendship. But if you keep quiet, you'll just get triggered all the time because you are so resentful. You are just packing in the bad, everything bad she's doing to you. You're just storing it up, and then one day you're just going to explode, and that's how female friendships come to an end. Losing a best friend can feel like identity crisis. Your whole identity was tied to her. So when the friendship ends, you feel like you're losing the version of you that only existed when she was around her. For example, you have a best friend who's when you're with her, you're very cheeky. When you're with her, you're so playful. Like when you're with her, she just makes you reveal the identity that you don't reveal to anyone else. And now that you are not friends anymore, you feel like she has gone with that your whole identity that existed when you were friends with her. I want you to know you are not alone. It's one of the most painful things we go through as women, but you'll get through it. Grieve it, learn from it, and grow from it. And the best advice that someone ever told me is that choose your friends wisely. I'm Caroline. Till next time. Bye bye.